howdy, howdy, howdy. Finally, a senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day, wherein I just sneezed, so I am very nasal. Thumbs up for that. And it is indeed a brand new day, and in fact, even though it took me forever before I actually was able to go outside and look at the day, it was snowing today. And there's snow out on the ground, and there's cars driving around, so that part of it's melting. But even though it is stopped now, it's going to be on and off flurries. So, thumbs up, yay. I mean, finally snow. I'm glad. It's only recently that it started being cold enough for there to be ice, so I'm just glad about that. Yay. Past that, I have no great things that have happened in life. I have gone out walkies last night, and it was good. I have to use my Dr. Shaw inserts with heel cups inside of those instead of my orthotic inserts because my toe gets jammed forward into the side of my shoe. And oh god, that's the worst thing ever. Which, of course, not really, but it's painful enough that I formed a blister over it. There's thick skin. It's not good. So, oh boy. So I'm trying to avoid that. So I have to use these older things, which means my heels hurt more. So I'm afraid to walk as much as I had been before my toe got all bad. So happy days. And then, here's something that I just got reminded of because of a chest pain. I have had these chest pains right in this area. And then last night and right now, I found it. When I had my ultrasound of my heart area a couple months back, there was a spot where, with the wand, she hit a part of my sternum, not smacked into it, but ran over it, and it hurt. It was a line of fire that ran all the way around my body to my spine. So that was like, ow. And then last night, because as I said, I've been having chest pains, with a positional postural change, I reached down and poked, and there's a spot that really hurts on my sternum. It's not inside of my sternum. It's not my heart. It's on the outside. I am literally where you cannot see it pressing it. It's the equivalent of going like this, right here, and touching it. And it hurts. So I need to talk to my doctor about that. Now, I have been diagnosed in the past with, oh God, I've forgotten what the word is. But it's fibromyalgia. And fibromyalgia, you have hot spots on your chest. I have not had hot spots on my chest yet. This could be right there in my sternum, one of those hot spots. I don't know. But I still need to talk to my doctor about that. And there's a couple other things. He wanted to see me in 6 months, but I don't want to wait 6 months for this. This still hurts where I was poking and prodding at it. At least I know that it's not my heart. So that's good. And an inability to sleep with insomnia, and then up very early from pain-related insomnia, is even though I took 24 milligrams of melatonin to get sleepy, and it brought me closer to being sleepy. There are some nights that I take it and a half hour later I am holding myself up going, this is going to be rough getting to bed. And there are other nights where I take it and I feel nothing. So it went at least a little closer towards sleep, even though I didn't actually get there. Now, what was I leading to with all this discussion of insomnia and all that? I honestly can't remember. ADHD brain. Even though I take 2 meds for ADHD, One of them, though, is Wellbutrin, the antidepressant, because it has an off-label use where it helps with some of the side effects of ADHD. And then there's guanfacine, which is a mild blood pressure med, and one of the off-label uses is it treats one of the side effects of ADHD. So I can't treat the ADHD itself. The reason I'm on blood pressure meds right now is because I tried to. And my blood pressure got ramped up from the stimulants, and it's not coming back down without meds. So I can't treat that, but we are treating the symptoms at least to some degree. Yay! With the side benefit of I take the one ADHD med that's the blood pressure med just before I go to bed. So that way, when I wake up in the morning and I need to take my regular day by day blood pressure med, there's some small amount of coverage from the ADHD med instead of take a pill and then there's absolutely nothing until the pill that I take pops in and then it starts to work and then it comes down to nothing again. This has at least some kind of coverage. Thumbs up for that. And of course the antidepressant, I like that. It really helps. That, along with the weekly therapy sessions, really, really helps. And as I have talked with my therapist about this, I described this as he was able to help me so that I could put together, again, the foundations of my house, my mental house that was torn down through the death of my wife, watching her die over a 10-year period until she died in our living room on hospice. Now, he is the scaffolding that I am putting together the rest of the house on top of the foundation. Without the scaffolding, everything's going to collapse. I'm not at the point yet where I can just continue work on the house on my own. But he's the scaffolding while I do the work. And so that is a very good thing. I had originally, back when I had my vehicle, and it was still working, I had originally gone driving to see him, but I live in Shelton, Washington. His offices are in Olympia, the capital of Washington State, and that's a 30-mile drive from where I live to where his offices are. I don't like doing that. It's easier, especially since my vehicle went and died, to just do it with online sessions via, it's not Zoom, it's like Google Meet, I think, but we do it online that way. So that's when and why and how, even though I was up in Port Orchard when I was homeless, that I was still able to have my weekly sessions because I had I bought a tablet while I was there, and then I could do the Meet thing over the tablet. So it was good. Definitely a thumbs up. I really like having my tablet. It's a good tablet. Yay. But past that, I have been going out on walkies. It's been really, really cold. So I need to do wash. Hence why I've only got one t-shirt on. But I am really warm today. Which is weird because it's cold. And normally when it's cold like this, I have the heat on. And then I also have shirts on, which I dislike because, again, which I'll talk about this if I remember, I get too hot and too cold at the same time. But right now, I don't want the heat on. I'm great like this. But it was like last night. One of the issues with my trying to go to sleep at night is if I'm too warm, my legs will cramp. So I have to stay cold. I have to stay this far away from shivering from cold, or I'm in danger of my legs cramping. Now, because of this big overlap I've mentioned where in this range I am too cold, But in this range, I'm too warm, leaving me with this overlap where I am both sweating because I'm too cold, hot, and I am shivering because I'm too cold. That also happens when I'm trying to sleep. I only have a towel that I use on top of a sheet. And the towel usually only covers me from my elbows up to around my neck. But last night, while I was trying to rest, I was going in the same, like, it took 5 or so seconds, but I would be too warm. And then I'd be shivering because I was too cold. And then I'd be almost sweating again because I was too hot. And then I was shivering because and it was, how am I supposed to sleep like this? Oh my God. So, yeah. I started off as a child. I was told by my mother before she died and all this that when I was a baby, I basically had to be held down to sleep. And when I was able to take care of my children when they were young, before I had to start taking care of my wife, and luckily we had her parents and such to help with raising the kids while this was happening. But we really had to hold our kids down to make them sleep too. And then now, on top of that, I'll make it to bed at 1 o'clock, and the only reason I'm able to fall asleep at all is because I've taken like 4 times the single dose of melatonin, and it takes forever to fall asleep. And then I sleep for like 3 or 4 hours, and then I'm awake. I am always exhausted because I'm exhausted. I look sleepy because, oh my God, am I tired. But life is life, so thumbs up on that. I'm still trying to be creative, thinking about things. I've got my ow! Oh my! I got just moving my thumbs. I think if I remember to when I was talking about creative stuff, I'll come back to it. But right now, I am quite certain I've got osteoarthritis pretty bad on my fingers. That has to be why, even though these hurt worse, which is largely your one part of the radial nerve that's getting pinched really controls these. And then these, which are different, don't hurt at all. So I don't think it's entirely osteoarthritis. I think there's also just reporting of the nerves that are having issues up here. But one of the things that really happened that's annoying is when my heel first started to go bad and I started to limp, I had a big old pain that started on the external muscles on my right hip. So leaning forward or trying to raise that leg across my leg, just, oh my gosh, it hurt. Well, now I'm not limping, but that hasn't stopped hurting. Oh my gosh, I can lean forward pretty good without it hurting. But taking a shower and raising up my leg so I can wash my foot and then putting my leg back into its position to set my foot down, and that shouldn't still be hurting. That's a huge amount of saliva. Hopefully that wasn't disgusting. But that shouldn't be hurting like the way it is. So that's another thing I need to talk to my doctor about. But yeah, with the creative stuff, I'm still always working on the solo RPG setting stuff. I'm always still working because the solo RPG setting is still just a part of my Inside Outside Razor's Edge / multiverse / cosmic horror stuff. So that's, at least I'm working on things. Even if I'm not able to, the golden time for my creativity was when I was raising my blood pressure horrifically, when I was on Ritalin. I was able to think. Since coming off of Ritalin, I have only been desperately trying to not forget what I have come up with. But while I have been despairing about that, my creativity is not dead. The solo RPG setting, of which I think is very deep and rich, I've come up with while here. So I can still give my creativity a push and then follow it where it's going. It's just been a lot harder because I can't treat my ADHD. Thumbs up. But, I mean, life is life. So, again, I'm still thinking on stuff. I love all of my characters and situations and settings within the Crimson Kingdom. Started off as just a name. Like I talk about, there's the Association of Sovereign Free States. Really past their name in that they are a loose conglomerate of largely libertarian, self-defensal type sovereign states that are loosely kept together in agreements. I don't really know much about them. Politically, I figure it's about Europe World War I, when everybody had treaties to the point that if one thing happened, that was just a domino that took everything down. I figure it's something like that. Past that, I don't really know. But with the Crimson Kingdom, I started off where it was the Razor's Edge, and they went to the eastern borough of the Crimson Kingdom. Past that, I had no idea what was going on with it. But these days now, the Crimson Kingdom, yeah, there's the central borough where there's Red Palace, where the King in Crimson both lives and rules, because it's largely democratic, though he does have some monarchical fiat to do things, but largely he lets people do things while guiding, instead of directly out and out saying, you're going to do this. But even though the kingdom is only 1,114 years old at the time of the story that I'm trying to tell within it, there are about almost 20 million people. There are 4 boroughs, east, west, north, and south, each of them that can house and enrich up to 5 million people each. And they're starting to get full, so they're starting to work on northeastern and northwestern, southeastern, southwestern boroughs for when these 4 fill. And the kingdom is big because it has that many people. And the King in Crimson is a being of power that has a great love, sympathy, and empathy for the human race, and is trying their best to raise up the people of the kingdom as best he can with everything that he can lead and teach them to be. He's a good fellow. But with the story of what happens on the Razor's Edge, where the big point of this story that I want to tell is that the kaiju rampages and eats 12.5 million people, thousand people in Apple Rock, the city, and the ramifications and repercussions of that for a year. The big thing that is something that I only really thought about myself, and it was like, yeah, just the other day, it's that even though the kaiju rampaging and eating 12,500 people is horrific, it's only the scale of it that is surprising. Because the Razor's Edge and the inside, to a smaller degree, is on the bleeding edge of an unending, untamable frontier, when even from the people from the inside, where stuff is nuts, just 1/50th as nuts as it is on the Razor's Edge, when they hear, gigantic beast rampaging through the center of a metropolitan area, devouring the inhabitants, that it must be a Tuesday. And they accept it because, yeah, that sort of stuff happens. That it was 12,500 people, That's the surprise and the horror. That it happened, that's not a surprise. Not really. Now, for the people that live on the razor's edge, the occasional horrific thing that kills a lot of people is actually part of the reason they stay. Everybody that lives on the razor's edge, pretty much, has very activated thrill seeker / adrenaline junkie genes. If you watch your best friend get devoured screaming by a lizard beast that then lumbers off afterward, just leaving behind like a foot and blood, yeah, you feel sad, but at the same time, you feel really alive. Because, yeah, that was bad, but it didn't happen to you. It didn't happen to you. And you can feel the sun on your skin, and you can feel that air in your lungs. You can hear the blood pumping in your veins. You're alive. Nobody wants to move off the razor's edge. There is active immigration from the outside, where we live, from people who have activated genes where they can travel via glamours and go through doors between here and the razor's edge and the razor's edge on the inside. They, with their activated adrenaline junkie / thrill seeker genes, also tend to make the razor's edge their home. Out here it's dull. And it is call to action time. There's the words. If you could like, comment, share, subscribe, that would be very, very cool. Making sure, of course, to share only with people that you think would like watching an old man yammer on in an incomprehensible fashion about things that are largely inane. Inane also largely because of the incomprehensible fashion in which they are delivered. Thumbs up. Thank you. Very cool. And remember, even though I may be boring and awful, I also produce gaming content. And for each and every one of my Patreon patrons, you are beautiful and awesome people. When you look in the mirror, you just remember you are looking at someone who is beautiful and awesome physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And of course, if you have left me a comment, you too are beautiful and awesome in your own way. I read every comment that YouTube shows me. I thumbs up and heart every comment that YouTube lets me. And I answer as many comments as my nerve compression will allow, which isn't as many as I would like, but at least it's some, so that's good. And hopefully the lighting is not too terrible. I have moved my nightstand light so it gives me more backlight here, but because I can't adjust it, there's too much backlight casting a shadow over in this direction with the brighter light from over my sink. When I get another light, a ring light, to compete and fight with all the other lights that I have in here, is it going to help? Anyway, though, I am going to edit, render, upload. I'm going to continue playing games. I have been fixated still on Paint the Town Red. This year, it will have been 10 years since they released it. My God, I am going to die tomorrow. But it's been 10 years, and I still play it. Sometimes quite obsessively. So, yeah. Do I play new stuff? The always online battle pass microtransaction riddled new stuff if I could afford to pay the $60 or $70? Or do I play fun stuff, self-contained, with stuff that people make on Steam and put in the workshop even today? Yeah, I do that. I hope you can get done the things that you need to get done, and if you can't, please do not beat yourself up. It will not help you get it done better next time, and you deserve better. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is indeed a very good thing. Oh, I need to burp. Oh, but now that I've talked about it, I'm not going to be able to do it. Joyous feeling. It's a joy. It's a joy and a wonder unparalleled to be organic and carbon based. Yay! So anyway, did I do that whole part? You take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side. And that is indeed a very good thing. I did all that. What did I say about the joys of being organic?